I am having a blessed morning. Yes. So you see me with my uniform on, right? Bus operator, MTA worker, city worker. I want to talk about no Pacific names. It's no Pacific because I'm not going to go back and forth with nobody. I'm going to give you a little history, right? Coming from a customer, right? And coming from a worker of transit, MTA. I'm going to give you a little history. First, I'm going to give you history of customer. The city, right, the buses and trains that we use in New York City get us to and fro our destination. They do it to the best of their ability safely. And they've been operating for years upon years, you know. And you never know where you can end up on the train systems. That's the actual true fact. You could be going through stuff in life and you can end up in the train station. I actually take the train and buses. I'm active on the trains and buses. Yes, I do. I take the trains and buses. There's nothing wrong with the trains and buses. There's nothing wrong with the trains and buses. I know that there was a lot of stuff that be going on the trains and buses, where there's a lot of people that's doing acts of violence, deterring people from the trains and buses, and, you know, kind of shaking up the city, shaking up people, but that's a small fraction of people that's doing this, right? That's not all of New Yorkers that's moving and grooving on the train, have motion and movement, because you need motion and movement on the train, because it's generation upon generation that's taking the train and buses. I remember years ago, the trains and buses, actually, yeah, the trains and buses used to be tagged up like crazy, especially trains. One particular section that nobody didn't want to go to and nobody was smiling was in the back of the train. You couldn't go back in the back of the train. How you doing? Happy Saturday, how you doing? So you couldn't even go back in the back of the trains. You couldn't even go in the back of the bus, because in the back of the bus, that's where the rowdies, and if you was about that life and, you know, things that you was doing, you wasn't going in the back. You was staying up in the front. You was staying up in the front train. You was staying up in the front, or you was staying in the middle. You wouldn't go back there. That's an actual true fact. If you wasn't about it. I'm gonna keep it real. That's as a customer. As I was going through school, right? That's right. TLW, the struggle is real. Looking for different jobs. What are your recommendations? Hold on one second. Yeah, you had to get around the city. You had to get around the city looking for different jobs in New York City. So you had to take the train. Nobody had no car back then, so you had to take the train and buses to get to your destinations so you can go on these interviews. So you had to take the train. This city is amazing. This city is amazing. You don't even need a car, right? You can take the train and buses. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking the train and buses to get to your destination. I actually shout out to Notion and Gates. Shout out to the A train right there on Notion. You get up, you go upstairs, Notion and Fulton and all that. I love Bed-Stuy. I'll tell you that right now. To all my people that's in Brooklyn, Notion and Gates, Bed-Stuy, I love you, and you know me, and I know you. Straight up, Notion and Gates, I love you guys. Give a big shout out to the whole Brooklyn. That's an actual true fact, the whole entire Brooklyn. I love you guys. You know me. So, I'm starting to see a lot of things that was going on, and this is not specifically towards nobody. Talking about the train systems and taking the trains. I don't see nothing wrong with it because I take the trains. I remember back in the days In the 90s, you had the Walkmans, you had the CDs, and you was bumping people's CDs and Walkmans while taking the train and buses, going to school, just going to your everyday active, just being active. Because a lot of people listen to your music while they are on the trains and buses. Because it's to kill time, basically. You can rock. I remember back in the days, um, yeah, you had the CDs, you had the tapes, you had the cassette tapes back there, the Walkmans, and you was bumping out to the music on the trains, mixtape, and it was real fun back then. It's still the same way right now. No, we got the digital, we got the iPhones, and we got the Android phone now. You can listen to your music underneath the train, while you under the ground. So that's dope when you can listen to music while you go to your destination, man. And you should hope and pray that people's listening to your music. To get up there and say, and disrespect our train systems, this is bad. You from the city, and people listen to your music. People listen to all music all around the world while they are on the trains and buses, man. And I'm a bus operator. I'm a city bus operator. And I know how it is to be a customer. It's an actual true fact. I took the train and buses my whole entire life. So to be a customer, then switch over to operating the bus is amazing, because I got two perspectives of becoming a customer and becoming a worker for New York City, transit, bus operator, which is amazing, which is dope. And, it's disrespectful if you're gonna talk about the train systems, people using the trains and all these other things. I recommend that your guys use the trains more and more often. Why? Because I use the trains. I use the trains and the buses. I be on there. TLW says CDLACDLB for Operation Bus. The struggle is real, looking for different jobs. What are your recommendations? Well, I don't know where you're from. Doesn't matter where you're from. What the CDL B, the CDL Learner's Permit B, that's basically for passenger endorsement. So for the A is for the trucks. Is for the trucks and tractor trailers. So it depends on what you want to do. If you're in the New York City area, they only asking for CDL Learner's Permit. That's all you need. It's a CDL Learner's Permit. You can get down with MTA. Then they take it from there. You don't even have to take a test anymore. I heard, while I'm in there, you don't even take a test. All you got to do is have your CDL Learner's Permit. Make sure that you can pass the background check, basically. Make sure that you don't have no open cases and that you're not smoking weed or getting high, all the other stuff, because you cannot be smoking weed and operating the bus. They don't care if it's Medicaid, that you Medicaid, whatever situation is, you can't be smoking weed. You can't be smoking weed, you can't be smoking that stuff, not operating the bus. They don't want none of that. So if you got a problem with not getting high and stuff like that, then it's not the job for you. If you want to change your life around, you want to make it happen, you want to make over 100,000 a year, and you want to, uplift your life, get down with MTA. There's nothing wrong with that. Get down with transit. I recommend for anyone that's looking for jobs or looking for a betterment of their life, get down with the MTA. There's nothing wrong with that. But then getting back to what I was saying is that a lot of things that was going on, because there was a lot of beefing going on the internet, and people talking about, I ain't beefing with nobody that's taking the train. What's wrong with the train? Some of your people took the train, right? The 25 bus that go up and down, right there. That goes right up and down the 25 bus. The B25 bus right there that stops Notion and Gates right there. You got the B44 bus that goes up, Notion. It go all the way down to Avenue Z, the last stop. So I don't see nothing wrong with taking these buses. I don't see nothing wrong with taking these buses. Then you got the you got the B8. I love the B8. I love the B8. Stop right down there, and Rockaway right there, and Linden Boulevard. So you know the area very well. You know, um, we got to be careful of the things that we putting out there. We got to be careful of the energy that we putting out there. When you get to a certain status in life, we forget where we come from. We forget how we used to have motion and movement. If you look at the pictures back when individuals was in the 90s and look at the pictures now, the pictures look very, very, very different. Look very, very different. You understand what I'm saying? So never forget where you come from. Never forget where you come from. And where you come from is taken from you in New York. I'm quite sure you took the trains and buses. I'm quite sure at some particular time in your life you took the trains and buses. There's nothing wrong with the trains and buses. There's nothing wrong with the trains and buses. They're actually, it's convenient and you can save a lot of money. This is an actual true fact. So this is coming from a bus operator. This is coming from a person that was just like you. If you over the camera and if you taking the train and buses, right, to get back and forth from work and home, and to just take care of your business and go to your appointments, nothing wrong with that. Do that such, but always remember to do it safely. Be safe, because this is still New York City, but this is our city. And we recommend everybody to come over here and try the buses and trains out. There's nothing wrong with the buses and trains out, That's it, man. We just gotta be careful because a lot of people rock out to your music or anybody's music on the trains and buses while they get to their destination. Everybody don't have a car. That's an extra bill. That's an extra bill. You paying car notes and you paying insurance and you paying all these things. That's extra bill. That's a luxury to have a car in New York City. It's a luxury. You don't need a car. You don't need anything. You got public transportation. That's why a lot of people don't have their licenses in New York City because there's public transportation here. While I'm getting a license in a car, well, I got public transportation. And a lot of New Yorkers feel that way. And there's nothing wrong with that feeling that way. We want more New Yorkers to take and ride the train systems and the buses because it's generation after generation, generation after generation. This is our city. We want to keep our city clean and we want to keep our city respectful. You do not disrespect your city where you come from. I know the city has changed, but I still see that old stench of the rotten apple. I still see the old 42nd. Most of you probably wasn't around to see the old 42nd when you go on there, you pay $5 for a movie, you can watch thousands of movies where you just movie hop. You could just movie hop. Go right down there, they have all the game rooms down on 42nd, So, yeah, this is our city, so you want to be respectful of our city. You don't disrespect anybody saying, I'm gonna argue with nobody that take the train. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking the train? The train is amazing, it's dope. Right? And I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't take the train or the public transportation. I'll be somewhere up north, or I'll be somewhere dead, or I'll be somewhere somewhere else that I'm supposed to be here. The train system has actually got me from point A to point B in my life, my whole entire life. So I would never disrespect public transportation, and you shouldn't either, right? And plus individuals that are looking for job opportunities and looking for work, MTA is hiring. Transit is hiring. They need more bus operators out there. They need more people to take the customers and the New Yorkers to the floor. So, I want you to jump aboard. Like I said, I used to be a customer for a very long time. And there's people to this day that I know people that's disabled that needs to take the trains and buses. You're not just assaulting people, right, that's taking an everyday public transportation. You are assaulting and disrespecting a lot of people that's disabled that needs the train system to take them to and fro. We understand that we have accessive ride now. Now you have accessive ride as part of MTA now, but there's still a lot of people that's disabled that take the train and buses. That take the train and buses, pick people up and drop people off. And I'm a bus operator. So, I had to say something about that for individuals get on here, on YouTube or on these major platforms and forget about where they come from. We should never forget where we come from. How you doing, doctor? If you don't, you gonna have to have boo-boo. I don't understand what you're saying, man. YouTube employee, yo, how you doing, YouTube employee? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your guys is tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really, really appreciate your guys here. I'm talking about it's okay to take the public transportation in New York City, the buses and trains, because there's a lot of people that can't afford cars. They can't afford a car note because we already paying $2,000, $3,000 for one bedroom in New York City. You understand what I'm saying? So to add on another bill is going to be very, very difficult and hard. To have a car in New York City is a luxury, And it's really important that we understand, recognize the people that's taking the train and buses are listening to your music. YouTube employee, I am Brandon T1. Okay, how you doing, Brandon T1? Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. I'm talking about taking the public transportation in New York City. If a lot of your guys is not from New York City, come over and come to New York City. Go down to 42nd, go down to the heart of the city, take the bus, take the train, get that experience underneath your belt. That's really amazing. You may see me there. You may get on my bus. Be like, hey, you that guy from YouTube. Yeah, so I recommend your guys to just come over and get on the bus and have a good experience in New York City, But this video was geared towards individuals that's on these major platforms that disrespecting this transit system, that disrespecting this very city where you come from. You need the train system. This would breathes the life. This is the life to the city, the train system, the bus. This is the heart of the city. This is the heart. So we have to understand that we need this to get to and fro, to work and back home safely. And everybody that is taking public transportation, I'm taking public transportation to buses and trains to be careful out there. Keep your head on a swivel. That's all I'm saying, right? Do not put both of the headphones in. Take one out, listen to your music, or do whatever you do. Just be active. Just look around your surroundings, and you should be okay. You definitely should be okay, all right? You got a small band of individuals that's causing havoc on the train, and they're going to be dealt with. That's not going to always be like that, okay? That's not going to always be like that, all right? They're going to get dealt with, I'm telling you. They're not going to allow this rhetoric and all these other things, burning people up on the train, hurting people, throwing people in the tracks, and, things like that. They're going to get that, under control. So I want anyone to come to the train. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I want to share this with your guys. I want your guys to have an amazing, amazing morning, because this is an amazing, amazing, amazing morning. And I appreciate that you're here. Take the trains. That's right. One of your favorite bus operators right here, Austin Flo. Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace. Yes, peace, peace, peace.